Hello, everyone. Welcome to the last stretch session of the summer. Hello. We will be off next week, no stretch sessions, but then we'll start back up the week that the fall semester starts on the 21st. So I'm excited to have you all here with me. Hopefully everyone's having a good day so far, staying safe from the heat. This is a nice little break so we can take some time to just disconnect from work and get our bodies moving and feeling good. So we'll wait one more minute. Just go ahead and find a comfortable position at your desk, anywhere where you are, somewhere you can have a seat. We'll start with some seated stretches, and then we'll move on to some standing ones at the end. And again, feel free in the chat at any time to put any stretches that you would like to see. Okay, but we can go ahead and get started. So we're going to start working on our forearms, then we'll go up to our shoulders, our neck, and our back. Okay, so for this first one, you're going to extend your arm in front of you. And with the opposite hand, you're going to grab your whole hand and you're just going to pull it down towards you until you feel a stretch here on the outside of your forearm. Again, we're not pulling and tugging, it's just a gentle stretch. We're going to hold it for about 15 seconds. Just a simple stretch on the outside of the forearm. You can slowly release. And we'll do the same thing on the opposite side. So now the opposite hand is pulling that hand towards you just until you feel that stretch. This next one is going to be the same idea, but we're going to flip our hand facing the opposite way. So now back to that first arm. Now your palm is facing up. And you're going to flex your wrist back. Make sure to grab the whole hand and not just the fingers. You're pulling the whole hand towards you until you feel that stretch on the front of your forearm. If you feel some tension, that's okay. But if you feel pain, maybe you've gone too far, you need to ease off a little bit. You should just feel a nice stretch along the forearm. Again, we're not bouncing it, we're just holding that stretch. And slowly release. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Palm up, pulling that hand towards you until you feel the stretch. And this should be the whole hand that you're extending and not just the fingers. Slowly release that hand. Next, we're going to just do some circles with our wrists. You can extend both hands in front of you and make a fist. And we're just going to roll our hands outwards. Nice big circles going out. And then we'll go opposite way, going in. This is something good to do just to get some blood flow from the hands back to the heart. And some movement in the wrist. Sometimes we get stuck in this position with our mouse or a keyboard. So it's good to get some motion in all directions. All right. Next up, we're going to open up our chest. So we're going to put our hands clasped behind our head. You're going to bring those elbows together. And then extend them out. Bring your chest towards the ceiling. Hold it a couple of seconds. And then again, those elbows back together. Curling our back. And then opening up, chest towards the ceiling. You should feel this movement in your spine, as well as opening up your chest as you come up. When you close, it's like you're doing a cat-cow. Curving your back, extending it down, and then opening up wide, nice and tall. Getting as much movement as we can in that spine, opening it up at the top. Open up wide. And those hands should be in the comfortable position behind your back, not tugging on your head. They're just there to help you get into position as you come up nice and tall. Shake it off. Now we're going to take one arm across our chest, opposite hand pulls that elbow towards you until you feel that stretch on the outside of your arm and shoulder. You shouldn't really be rotating with this. Your back is nice and straight. You're just pulling that arm towards you. Remember to have a nice and deep breath. With each exhale, you can get deeper into the stretch. Slowly back down to center. Same thing on the opposite side. Arm across your chest, pulling that elbow towards you. Deeper stretch with each exhale. Again, with stretching, all you should feel is tension. If you feel pain, maybe you've gone too far, you can ease off a little bit. This should be comfortable. Back to center. We're just going to do some shoulder shrugs going up towards the back, down, bring those shoulders down to the ground, up to your ears, back towards your chair, and down to the ground. Let's do two more. Last one, inhale. And down, keep those shoulders down at the ground. We tend to live up here. Let's keep those shoulders down and relaxed. Okay, now your left ear is going to come down. Your hand is going to come on the opposite side of your head, just to pull down and get a stretch here along our neck. And we're not yanking on our neck, but we're just helping to pull it down to get that stretch. Maybe you feel some tension here, just breathe through it. If it's painful, don't push into it. Just find a nice spot where you can release that tension. And release, back to center. Make sure those shoulders are down towards the ground. Same thing on the opposite side. Now the right ear towards the right shoulder. And pulling gently just to get that stretch. Maybe you notice one side is more tense than the other. That's just good for you to take notice of, and maybe you want to stretch that side a little bit more. Just listening to our bodies, discovering what they need. Slowly release back to center. We're going to do 5 neck rolls in each direction, okay? So going down towards one direction, taking it nice and slow. Breathing as you're doing this. And then 5 in the opposite direction. If you find a spot that's more tense, maybe you want to hang out there until you get that tension out. We gotta do what we gotta do. All right, now that our upper body and neck is all loosened up, we're gonna do a little bit of lower body. So you're going to sit back in your chair. Our back should be nice and straight. You're just bringing one knee up, clasping your leg under the knee and pulling it towards you. So you shouldn't be grasping your leg like this, you're just pulling it towards you. Maybe your hands interlock until you feel that stretch under your leg, maybe the side of your leg and your glutes. Taking deep breaths here. Keeping those hands under the thighs so that we're not compressing our knees. This should be comfortable. And slowly release. Same thing on the opposite side, bringing that knee up and pulling our leg under the thigh towards our chest. Feeling that stretch in the back of our leg, maybe into your glutes. And then slowly release. All right, we are going to come into standing now. Here, we're going to do some hip openers. So feel free to grab onto a chair if you need something to balance, but all you're going to do is bring your knee up to the side, down, to the side, back up and down. So it's like you're drawing a big rainbow with your knee. We're going to do 6 on each side. So this knee comes up, around, down, around, down. All right. Again, if you need something to balance, please hold on to something. This is great to just get some movement in the hips. We get very tight here when we're sitting all day. So it's great to get some movement in there and some stretching. All right, then you do the opposite side. So leg comes up, around, down, round, down. All right. Last one. Okay. We got a little bit more movement in our backs. You're going to put your hands across your chest. And we're just going to look over our left shoulder, trying to keep our hips stable, looking forward. It's just our shoulders that are moving out. And then we're going to look to the opposite side, holding it there a couple seconds, coming back to center. So you should feel that it's just your spine that's turning, rotating, getting some movement in that mid to low spine. Do a couple more here. Again, our hips should be staying stacked, looking forwards. Just getting some motion through the spine. Let's do one more on each side. All right. Next, you're going to take a deep breath in, and then we're going to fold over to try to touch our toes. You can have a wide stance. If it's harder to touch your toes, it is for me. So I'm going to have a wide stance. Feel free to have a smaller stance if you want a deeper stretch. We're just going to take a deep breath in. Exhale, touch the ground or as low as you can go. We're going to hold this for 15 seconds. Slowly coming back up to the top. Taking in another deep inhale. Holding down one more time. Slowly coming back up to the top. We're going to do a lunge position. One leg in front, one leg behind. Back leg is straight. pushing that front knee forwards while keeping that back leg straight. You should feel the stretch in the front of your hip. Again, feel free to hold on to a chair or something if you need it for balance. This will be our last stretch. Just getting those hip flexors some stretching. If your heel is touching the ground in the back, maybe you feel it in your calf as well. Then just straighten out and turn to face the opposite way. Now the opposite knee is facing forward. Push that knee forward while the back leg is straight. Feel that stretch in the hip. If it's uncomfortable for you to keep your heel down in the back leg, that's okay. The main point is to stretch the hip, so just find a comfortable position to get that stretch. And come back to center. We'll come back to our seats. Comfortable positions, sitting nice and tall. Remember to bring those shoulders back down to the ground. That string is pulling you up to sit up nice and tall so that you feel good and you're ready to go back to work. Thank you so much for joining me today, and hope you guys enjoy the rest of your summer, and we'll see you guys back on Monday the 21st. All right, thank you. Have a good one. Welcome, bye. Thank you.